If you want, it's Emily, welcome back on my channel. Today's video is going to be something a little bit different. I wanted to try the try a chapter tag. If you don't know anything about it, I will link down below the original one, but basically you pick 5 books and you read the first chapter and then you decide which one you want to continue. You read it and then you end up with a little bit of a wrap up at the end of the video. So the 5 books that I decided to pick are 5 really popular YA books that are so raved about on YouTube. All of these I've been wanting to read. Some of them I've had on my bookshelves for a while. Some of them you will see in my next haul, but they have been out for a little bit of a while. So actually all of them are series, so some of them, like the 3rd, the 4th one, are already out, and it's just time for me to try them and decide for myself, do I think they're worth the hype on YouTube or not? So let me go through them really quickly. The first one is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard, and this has been raved so much about. This is the 3rd book in a series, so it's been out for a while, and I've been meaning to read it. I've never picked it up, and it needs to happen. Hopefully by like reading the first chapter of all of these books, I'll just decide which ones need to be like higher on my TBR, like need to be read ASAP. The next one I've been meaning to read for a while. I've even put it in my like top 10 books I need to read or something that I haven't read yet, popular books. You get the idea. Yeah, Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas. I have still not read this book. The 5th one came out last year. There's like the last and 6th one coming out maybe this year. I am so late to that game, but I feel like this is something I'm gonna either love or hate. Actually, the case for most of these. Sometimes the books are just so overhyped that you don't know if they're gonna be, you know, living up to all that hype. So yeah, need to read this, so I'm gonna read the first chapter. The next one is almost of a joke because I have a feeling I'm not gonna like this, but that might be like a hate read. You know, sometimes you're just so annoyed because it like all the tropes are just the classic ones and you just still read it anyway. Or I might actually like love this secretly and like it's gonna be a guilty read. We're gonna see. It is The Selection by Kiera Cass, which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with liking this, by the way. Just because I'm saying this, don't take it personally, but I just have a feeling that I'm going to be really annoyed with the main character because of what I've heard about it, and even the main character is called America Singer. Why do people do this? Like, the main characters, especially in YA fantasy book, always have weird names. But yeah, I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about this. The cover is actually gorgeous, but we shall see. Next one is Vampire Academy by Richelle Mead. I know, still haven't read this, which is why it's here, because if I read the first chapter, I might end up being like, you know what, I actually want to finish this. It might even be the one that I choose to finish today. Well, in this video, not today. So yeah, and then the last one is this one. This is The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer by Michelle Otkin. This is another one that is really popular. This one is supposed to be a little bit darker too. So yeah, those are the 5 books that I am planning on reading the first chapter of today. So like I said, I will pick one book, give you a little bit of an idea what it's about. So I'm going to be picking one up, giving you an idea what it is about, read the first chapter, come back and let you know what I think of it, and then pick the next one. And then at the end, I will choose the winner, the one that I'm finishing. So we're starting with Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. This one, I know it's a... Obviously, they're all YA. I'm going to be saying that, but it's a YA dystopian world where there's magical powers, like fantasy. I believe like it's a classic one with like one class oppressing the other one. So I'm going to read the first chapter. It shouldn't be too long usually. First chapters are not 11 pages, so it shouldn't be too long. So I apparently didn't record that bit, but basically it gave me a lot of a vibe of like Hunger Game type thing. It's between the red blood and the silver blood. There's some magical power in there. I'm really intrigued. It's definitely a strong contender. Okay, so the next book I'm going to try and read is this one, Throne of Glass. All I know, again, YA fantasy book. I believe the main character is an assassin that needs to do one thing for the king before she can have her freedom or something like this. Let's see how long the first chapter is. Oh my god, it's only 5 pages. So this is going to be a hit or a miss. So I had been warned that this book had a lot of like the usual tropes in a YA book, and literally, like I told you, the first chapter has 5 pages, and you can already see that the main character is one of those really strong female characters that could kill everyone. That's basically what she mentions, that she used to be an assassin. She's been captured and she now works in a like salt mine, and she's being transported somewhere. She doesn't know where. And yeah, in that like 5 pages, she mentioned that she could kill everyone around her, and that it's also mentioned that she's pretty. So I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of those classic YA things in this book. With that said, I'm still intrigued. I definitely want to read it. But yeah, it's just funny that in the first 5 pages, these things already happened. So the next one, I'm going to be reading the first chapter of The Selection by Kiera Cass. And there is, how many pages in this one? There's 12 pages, so not too bad. And again, this one is also dystopian society. I feel like it's very popular. Most of these are, but I'm totally okay with it. Definitely something I enjoy reading about. All I know about this is that women are sent to like a ball, whatever, and the prince select the girl he prefer, something like that. Basically all I know, so I'm not sure how much I will learn in 12 pages, but I'm gonna go and read it. Okay, so I read the first chapter, and this already feels like the classic fantasy, romance, YA book. You're following the main character, America Singer, and in that world, there's people are classified between 1 and 9, and she's a 5, and 5 get X amount of money, and they're not really rich, and they're more artists. She's a singer, her mom and dad are just play music or paint and stuff. And she receives a letter to invite her to that selection where the prince will choose a bride. Is it like reality TV? That's how it sounded. But she's not really into it. And at the end, you realize that she might have already someone she's into, and that's why she's not interested. So yeah, that feels very, very YA romance. But I don't hate it. So I would definitely finish this, but I don't know if it's going to be the one that I finish today. So next, I shall read this one, which is Vampire Academy, probably the one that I've been requested to read the most. All I know is that it's about school with vampires, so I'm going to read the first chapter and I will be back. Actually, let me see how long it is because it's always fun to know. 11 pages, which seems to be the number for most of these, so I'll be back. Okay, so I read the first chapter and it makes me realize that I knew absolutely nothing about this book. I don't know how it's been out for 10 years and I've heard nothing, but you're following the main character, which I don't even know if they said her name. I'm bad with names, characters. Anyway, she is on the run with a vampire who, at the end of the first chapter, you learn is actually the princess. And they've been on the run and they are basically being captured by a group of people, bringing her back to, I'm assuming, school? Like the Vladimir Academy. So that's basically all you know. The main character also has like that connection with the princess, and she can sense like her feelings and things like that. So I don't know if she has magical power or something, but it's interesting. It's probably one of the books that I was the most like certain that I was going to read. It will definitely happen. I just don't know yet if it's the one that I'm going to be reading today, because the first chapter, I don't think this one has the best first chapter, but I think it's the book that I'm the most intrigued about. Last one, we have The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer, and this one, I believe, is more like thriller horror, or so I've heard. I don't know how many pages. Oh my god, there's only 4 pages. So I don't know if that's going to convince me, but that's something I was planning on reading probably during the fall because, again, horror thriller. I don't know anything about it. 4 pages will probably not tell me much, but let's try it. Well, that was quick, but I have to say that was pretty effective too. I knew nothing about this, except that some people really loved it. And it seems a lot more catchy than I thought. And part of me kind of wanted to keep it for like the fall, whenever it's like the time for creepy books. But this is so much better than I thought it would be. Well, I mean, the writing seems okay, but like the story is catchy. Let's just say that. So basically, you're following a girl that is now called Mara. It's a fake name that she has to use. In the first chapter, she's playing on a Ouija board with 2 friends. Well, 1 friend and 1 girl trying to steal her best friend. And her friend asks whenever how she's gonna die, and it spells out Mara, which is her. And then 6 months later, basically these 2 girls will be dead. The back actually makes you want to read it. I had not read it before today, and basically she woke up with no memory of the last few days. Her friends are dead, but she survived, and then her family has to move to another state to try and escape. So that just seems very intriguing. I Didn't expect that. So a good contender, but oh, it's so hard to choose. I'm actually not super into the first chapter of Throne of Glass, which I will still read it eventually, just not now. Red Queen is definitely a strong contender. I'm like intrigued. The Selection, weirdly enough, seemed like something like whenever you're wanting to read like a cheesy, fast read, like romance. So I will definitely read it, but I think I'm gonna go with Vampire Academy simply because I've been wanting to read it for so long. But I've been pleasantly surprised by The Selection, Red Queen, and this. So they will all happen. I was wondering if any of these I would be like, you know what? I don't want to read it. It doesn't seem like something I would be into. But so far, I think I'm going to be reading all of them. Let's be honest, I'm too curious and I want to know why people love these books. So I will be finishing this, and then in a few days I will come again and just give you my thoughts on the book. So I have finally finished Vampire Academy by Rachel Mead, and I wanted to give you my thoughts about it. This was like so not what I expected. I don't know what I was expecting, but this is like such a popular YA like fantasy series, and I need to watch a movie. There's a movie, right? I think I'm gonna do that very soon and let you know what I think. But so different from what I thought it would be. And I enjoyed it. I wasn't like as crazy as everybody else because obviously this is very, like, this feels very angsty, like, oh, I'm an edgy teenager that is calling like adults like bitches and things like that. So yeah, I feel like teenage Emily would have definitely enjoyed it a lot more than adult Emily, but I believe I'm giving it a 4 stars. I enjoyed it enough to continue reading it, but I'm not like the super fan that needs to read all of them right away. Can we just discuss though, what's his name? Dimitri? Did anybody else imagine him, even though he's supposed to have brown hair, that guy from like True Blood? I'll include a picture. No, just me, because it definitely felt like he was that guy. That's how I saw it in my head though. So yeah, definitely very angsty, sexual. This is more new adult than YA though. Like I wouldn't give this to a 13-year-old, but yeah. I'll continue the series, that's for sure, but a lot more action. I love the like magical-ish system that they have. I like the friendship, but yeah, I'm not sure what else to say about it. I feel like most people would have read it anyway, but let me know in the comments. Let's talk about it because I did not expect this whatsoever. Like I felt like this was going to be something similar to like Twilight or something, which it's not. There's definitely some romance, but it's not like as cheesy as Twilight. So I enjoyed it. Like I'm surprised, but I enjoyed it. So I'm definitely like more open to reading the other books that I read the first chapter. I feel like just starting to read it makes you more willing to read it than like just knowing that you're supposed to eventually, you know what I mean? So interesting concept. I will definitely do more of those like try a chapter type of tag. I feel like was really interesting. This time was like all popular YA books. Let me know what else you would like me to do, like popular like sci-fi or just fiction, or eventually maybe like books I'm thinking about getting rid of without reading them, so I need to read the first chapter before deciding to get rid of them. That could be another one that would be interesting. So yeah, that's it guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and to subscribe to not miss any future ones, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.